is it the pressures of what? Work? I don't know, but
Can we pinpoint this on the pressures of life rather? But then, hey, but it's been.
pressures of life,
I think
right?
maybe the pressures of life and all that. It's been hectic,
It's
but
been
then
hectic.
it's been hectic, and it's been hectic. You can actually see that life is like trying to take all the time away from us and all that.
I guess that we just have to learn that life can literally take you away of certain important things in life.
That's very true.
I
That's
think
very
it's
true.
at times it's important for you to take a few step backs and really look things through.
Exactly. Like
Am I losing track of time, friends or family or this? I think it's important.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Right?
That notion on its own, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because we tend to overlook some of these things. We think that maybe we are making progress, but then at the end of the day, when you go back to the dream board, we just see that we are still at the first step. We didn't even move any single step.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere in our minds, we think that, well, I think I progressed today. Maybe I did something today. No, then after a week or a month or a year, you realize no, you're actually in the same place where you
Still
started.
in the same place.
And you be like, what?
What's
What's up?
happening?
What's happening? What's all this?
You realize that you literally have lost something like a year or so.
I think there's something to learn right there. There's actually something big to learn right there.
Interesting.
That's
So
interesting.
today we have an interesting topic at hand.
Right.
We titled it what? The black hole of social media.
Black hole of social media. And that's gonna be a controversial topic, but anyways, we
Very
just have
controversial,
to
bro.
dive right into it because I mean it was long overdue.
It was long overdue
The black
for
hole
something so that is
of
taking
social
the world by storm.
storm, we have to realize that every day, right now, we're actually using the platform of social media to actually broadcast on our feed. That alone could be something. We could have maybe hosted an actual seminar
Yeah.
where we just maybe make attendees attend and all that. But indeed, to have seen news how social media, the power of social media, rather, how it has managed to like overtake all that, taking a mob of people and only reducing it to only a singular version of the audience which you have to address. Like right now, we can actually address to the audience, who are like overseas and all that. But at the end of the day, we realize that there is a certain black hole in that social media. That's something which we would want to tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that you're pointing out to the outreach.
Exactly.
In short, you're saying that it is a greater audience out there.
Exactly. That's very true. And we realize that it has taken a deep root on the progress of people from one place to another. Because social media has brought that connection, right? Like we would ought to see what it has done, maybe to improve our lives and all that. Maybe things like faster communication, uh, faster communication. We have easy access to information. Information is greatly at our disposal at a much more quicker rate.
That's true.
Right? Maybe
Information. Wow, this is perfect because I'm looking at it from a academic point of view. Social media is actually improved on that aspect because now I can easily access authors in America or in Spain.
Exactly. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
The information is just out there, easily accessible.
And
So you can't even deny that. That's a very powerful
that's a
factor.
powerful
Yes,
factor
but
over there. So I think maybe boss would like to look at it this way. We have this vast amount of knowledge at our disposal. The question will be to ask one individual or another person: are you really using the power of the internet to your advantage? Right?
okay, I like that.
Because we realize that maybe since we have information which is greatly at our disposal,
Yeah.
we also have, and it's not all the information which is good or bad. Obviously, you have information which is good that will somehow uplift our standards. Then we have a bad route of information which will maybe degrade our standards and all that. That's something which you could actually look at from another point of view.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, personally, we grew up in this era. Yeah, we grew up in the era. We really experienced the impact. We lived the impact. It's
Exactly.
made.
Yeah, that's very true. You can safely say that we are the genesis of this.
It did. We truly are, because I think social media really blew around 2000 and perhaps maybe 9, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah, that's when the when we had like a variety and access to these smartphones. I still
Yeah.
remember back in the day,
Yeah.
we used to use these phones which didn't even go on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, the only person who was capable of going on the internet was a person maybe who owned a personal computer, like
Yeah.
those big ones,
Those big ones.
the ones with the cathode ray tubes, the big ones.
Yes.
Those were the people who were considered to have those, the ones who were able to access
Access.
the internet and
At that
have
time.
maybe have that validity to attain to the benefits maybe of social media.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, there used to be these funny messaging apps. What were they called?
I still remember, man. There was this one called Mixit,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
there was it was very complicated to use.
Oh, it was very complicated.
And-
Like,
And there was this other one. What was it? Let me see. Quite a number of apps which were quite complex. You know, they weren't as easy when it comes to communicating as those other ones, be it Facebook or Instagram or Twitter.
there's too much information which you have to process on the level to understand what.
So look, bro.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. I'm highly concerned by how social media has really played a role in today's youth.
That's beautiful.
That's my greatest worry, because
That's
I
your
mean,
greatest
the
worry.
youth are the future. I mean,
That's very true.
we are the ones that are gonna implement also beat systems or cultures in our children of tomorrow.
Okay,
So if we do not have principles, values, or cultures or norms, I think we're gonna breed
an untamed youth.
exactly.
There's too much information which you have to process on the level to understand what. There's too much information which you have to process on the level to understand what.
You can't really argue that the larger percentage of people using social media is the youth, right?
Yeah, that's
So
very
that
true.
is to be the target audience, right?
That's very true. This is specifically for the youth, and even let's say just now. The thing is, I've managed to realize something.
Yeah.
With this massive use of social media. If you look at it, let's take ourselves back to when we were children, right?
Yeah.
When we were these young kids and all that. You know, when the phones, even before they were able to access the internet and all that. The fact that there was a phone that you could call someone, maybe you could call someone right now in South Africa, or you can call someone right now in Zambia and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It sort of like brought some level of comfort to the point that it, with that comfort being in place, it disconnected people. The fact that you can actually know you have maybe your friend or whoever your peer, the fact that you're able to call them, maybe right now they're in somewhere in maybe Ukraine or something like that.
Yeah.
You call them, you say, yo, what's up? You good? Yeah, I'm okay and all that. The fact that you converse, there is no like one-to-one conversation like what we're doing right now, right? The fact that you're just comfortable for being able to talk with someone on the phone and they're telling you that's okay.
Oh.
It just improves that kind of communication, but it disconnects people.
Okay, I hear you. Wow, it's quite deep. I hear what you're trying to bring out here. You should have tried to say that we've grown accustomed to communicating through the social medias,
Exactly.
which is different from a physical interaction.
Exactly. And from the looks of things,
Yes.
and you can definitely attest that even from a psychological point of view,
Yeah.
we yearn for that physical connection.
Physical connection. Indeed.
It has to be there.
It has to be there. True.
That's why you see that maybe people can communicate 10 years, 20 years over the phone,
Yeah.
but when they meet face to face, they're like strangers.
Indeed.
Because there is need for that what?
Physical
Physical connection.
Okay.
But somehow, some way,
Yeah.
social media has led us into this loop of black hole per se, since this is our valuable topic. It has led us into this black hole in which there is now a disparity amongst people. You know, people end up thinking
Yeah.
that you are connected, but on the surface level, there's literally nothing.
There's nothing. That's dreadful. You know, you also bring out this interesting aspect. You know, in that void of trying to connect through the social media platforms, there are also ideas that are filtering in of misrepresentation of actual facts or perhaps stories.
Okay, that's beautiful. I need you to repeat that. No, I need you to repeat that for me once again.
I don't know.
That's a beautiful and it's a powerful point.
Seems like for some weird reason we're altering reality
Okay.
due to that due to the lack of that physical connection or interaction.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Because I mean, for instance, I mean, just go on Instagram right now. I mean, Instagram right now, Facebook,
And all that.
you know.
You know, they bring this new reality,
Exactly.
which is some sort of falsified sense. You know, it's calling upon people to be perfect for some weird reason.
True.
You are being called upon by these things to act a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, that the way you laid it out, that point is quite beautiful. You said it's misrepresenting reality in its entirety.
Yeah.
You know, with our smartphones over there, you just go on IG. Maybe I'm a guy. I see some guys, you know, who are masculine, who are going to the gym. You know, they are saying gym, whatever, you know, that type of thing. You know, for some weird reason, I am the one who's consuming that content. And I feel like, nah, maybe some of what I'm doing is wrong. Maybe I do not fit into society if I do not act that type of way.
Because it seems like social media is acknowledging these deeds to say. Why am I saying that? For example, this example you're talking about. Such photos you may perhaps find 500, 5,000 likes.
That's very true.
You know. So that's more of acknowledgement.
And I like the you brought out this interesting word you just said. You said it's giving us an idea. Right. I would like to believe that there is some kind of inception which is happening to us by this social media. So what is this inception? It's an inception of an idea. So the idea is not complete unless we, the consumers of the content, act on its behalf.
Acknowledge it, you say.
Exactly. So imagine that you are given a half-based content over there. It's not even full. The fact that you're consuming there is not yet full.
Okay.
It becomes full when that idea is transmitted to me and I act upon that idea, confirming its reality.
Now that's beautiful.
Now that's us bringing some kind of idea to reality. What was once an idea is now real.
It's now real.
And yet it's not it's not the thing which we perceive to be normal. It's an, let's say it's an abstract idea of something which is not real, but which is made real by falsified sense of reality through social media, which is giving us that feed.
So you're saying that social media pushes forth a perfect reality agenda, which is not seemingly so. Because we've easily identified that the world is in shambles.
I mean, the world is literally in shambles.
Each and every individual is facing challenges.
Exactly, that's
the
very
world is not rosy.
It's not rosy. But for some weird reason, social media pretends it to be rosy.
That's true, man. That's speaking true. I think you also have to acknowledge this before we go far.
Okay.
Social media is people.
Okay.
It's literal people. You cannot say it's an individual element that's existing on its own.
Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You see,
That's beautiful. Yes.
these ideas being pushed forth by combined people to say.
That's
So, in short, what you're trying to say is that people are pushing upon that agenda
That
of a
agenda.
perfect reality. In short, you are saying that we are doing that. We as people.
Yes, we as people.
I'm
we're
trying to
actually-
create a
No, I'm-
reality that is perfect.
That's very true. Even I myself find myself falling short in that dimension. So I'm trying to pertain as everything is okay.
Yeah.
But now the question is that what's real? You know, are we supposed to be pushing this agenda as if everything is perfect, everything is smooth flowing, everything is going my way, I'm walking on the moon or I'm on Earth or something, some type of thing like that. Right?
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
we delve into this is us going deep into the black hole of social media.
Yeah.
We have managed to unravel its hidden symphonies, right? Because we would want to ascertain that we can actually see, we want to talk about something which is actually happening today, which is visible. Like you can see maybe your friends, your family, they let's say take this, try to imagine this.
Yeah.
We have a family, right? They're at home, they're sitting, maybe everyone is constantly on their phone and all that.
Yeah.
Then maybe they are a family with just a mother and a father, maybe let's say 3 children. Okay, yeah, maybe they're all grown up, the children, maybe let's say just teenagers of some sort.
Yeah.
They see some beautiful site on social media, maybe they're just going through social media. They see let's say maybe they see this view of maybe Matobo Hill and all that. Right? They see the beautiful scenery. Then the kid says, "Oh, what you think about it? What if we take a vacation? Maybe let's go there for the weekend and all that, to relax and all that." Then the parents maybe say, "I know it's okay. Let's do that." They plan a getaway. They do that. They go there. Now, whilst they're there, they are constantly maybe taking pictures. They're taking pictures of the site. They are not interacting to a certain level. They're actually disconnected in their connection. Right? They are there, but they are not there.
They are not there.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they are constantly taking pictures. They're constantly taking pictures of the site and all that. 3 days has passed. They're literally doing this. Just waking up,
Yes.
chill in the pool. You take a picture of yourself in the pool and all that. You go back home.
Yeah.
You are like back to where you started.
Indeed,
You are back home. You
Yeah.
have pictures.
Yeah.
Or some would like to say memories.
Mhm.
You have pictures over there.
Yeah.
Post them all over social media. Oh, what a beautiful weekend. Now, my question is, are you supposed to be actually having yourself to post that so that you can have acknowledgement for people at the back to acknowledge that you're having fun, or yourself as the family, you are supposed to have some construct in which you can actually discuss the holiday which you went to, not having other people come in and discuss the holiday which you went to.
Okay, so it's not to have certain members acknowledge that you guys had fun while you were
Exactly.
there.
While you're there, isn't it supposed to be you, the individual? So somehow, with that alone, social media has managed to bring out this fantasy, so to say, that everything is kind of sweet.
Indeed.
But you never know. Maybe when they were there, they were literally fighting. But the pictures, they're all smiles and
They all
cheers.
smiles
over
and
there.
all that.
But who knows? Maybe when they were there, they were not even talking to each other. It's only they were appearing for the pics.
Bro, this has become more of a psychological issue. Why am I saying that?
Yeah.
Because it seems like these are human tendencies. It seems like it's human tendency to try to represent a falsified reality.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
I don't know. It's a tendency, really, because you can see it.
And it's evident. We've seen it.
We've seen it.
It's
It's
we
repetitive.
have our phones. We
Exactly.
literally see it.
Because the moment I post something, what am I really trying to achieve, bro? Seems like I want to really create a perfect scenario in in my case. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps maybe it's trying to prove a point or trying to show the world how good or how rosy your life is, although it might not make any sense.
It might not make
But
any sense.
it is becoming more psychological than I really thought it would be.
And I think you're very correct. I didn't even know that it was going to take that psychological, but
Yeah.
it tends to be that issue that we are sort of like looking for external validation for our own living.
Seeking validation for our own living. That's a powerful statement right there, bro. That's a very powerful statement.
We're seeking some kind of validation, we are seeking some kind of proof of life for our own existence.
But validation comes from a point of low self morale from within, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. I can actually
Because
attest
there
to
is a
that.
void within you that that's wants acceptation or recognition.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm following.
So I think I think as individuals we have to understand that just maybe we need to reflect on our lives and see if that's the image we're posing.
Which you're posing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really make sense that we're posting all these rosy pictures, and maybe at some point, 3/4 of the day you're having the darkest moments with yourself. It doesn't really make sense.
True.
We can, and that's the thing now with social media. That's the black hole of social media. Right? Everyone is pertaining to this beautiful, fruitful, long living, enduring lifestyle.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be the one.
Indeed.
But those moments, you can actually realize that they're actually fake, hence they do not mean anything. Hence, at the end of the day, people actually try to find meaningless things.
I think that's exactly what's happening.
Because, and we have, like, hey, this is going deeper into psychological.
Yeah.
This is more of a psychological
Yeah, make
aspect.
it intriguing, bro. Yeah.
Because we can realize that even if we were to trace back on our memories,
Yeah.
we can realize that we recall some of the things which are only real. And the funny thing is, the mind is a beautiful way of actually recalling what was real. And
This is true.
and we try to like, I can't really say manifest. We try to uphold that which you call a good memory, but we do not. We realize that it's just dissolved. It's just dissolving. It's not even meaning anything.
I've been at the receiving end of that. Because at the end of the day, you have to reflect upon yourself.
Exactly.
It can be. But bro, one could easily say this. Look, I'm living the good life. I feel like I just have to post perhaps to motivate you. I've come across such posts.
Okay.
This is my life that I'm posting.
Okay, that's beautiful.
We can't be really there and be like, no, my G, you have problems. You're just not telling us.
Okay.
Just maybe.
Okay.
That life is posting. Is the life is
He's
living.
actually living.
Is there a problem in that? Can you perhaps specify on that?
Okay, so concerning that issue,
Yeah.
I think maybe for the one who's posting, let's say he's an individual who's posting over there.
Yes.
He's out here showing maybe his lifestyle. He's got a good home, a good set of cars. Everything is just rosy in that person's lifestyle, right? Then he's like, he or she's like, I'm posting so that I can motivate you and all that. So motivation, what people perceive as motivation, it has to come in a positive way. How positive?
That's beautiful.
How
Yes.
positive do we mean?
Yes.
It has to be something which, because we do realize that a tree doesn't even take a year to grow. A good tree can take about 20 to 30 years to grow, right? But now the question is, this person who's trying to motivate me into that lifestyle which he's living, why is he not showing us the tree from this point where he started to grow to where it is now?
That's beautiful.
They
That's
only show us the
beautiful.
end product.
The end result.
The end product. Why don't you show us, the the manufacturing, the processing, the quality control,
Yes.
the everything. So it, from a psychological point of view,
Yeah.
it ends up giving the receiving end some kind of pressure,
Indeed.
because you want to enact on that thing which you are calling motivation
Now,
now. You want to do it
today,
right now.
I'm not gonna wait 20 years to have a
I'm not gonna
nice
wait.
car
No.
while you're busy there flaunting your Lamborghini or something like
You
that.
want to have it today, tomorrow. That's when you want to have. Now, already, from a just general reasoning capacity, you can actually see now that there's something wrong there.
Something wrong, right?
You can literally see that there's something wrong over there. The fact,
Motive isn't this clear cut.
isn't exactly isn't it clear cut is that person's. And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
you know, I've talked to many people. The funny thing is, people actually are aware of this.
Right.
I used to think maybe people are somehow not aware.
Not all, yeah.
Now, people are actually aware.
That's
And
interesting.
that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
That, you know, you can talk to a person, you have a good quality conversation with the person, they'll be like, nah, you know, I'm trying to be there, I'm trying to go to the top, but
Yeah.
no, I'm faced with the pressures of life.
Mhm.
One, this person is actually consciously aware that there are pressures to life. That person is also aware that for something good to germinate, it doesn't take a day.
Yeah.
That person is very well aware of that. But for some reason, now we look at social media. What has it done? It has caused pressure. It has somehow imposed that there is an easy route to be at that level which you want to attain. This so-called level which you want to attain, maybe it's at the top. It's that lifestyle, that person, you know, coming to motivate you. It's, you want to be there where that person is. But they don't tell you that, nah,
Yeah.
it's not, you know, the road isn't clear cut as that. They don't really space. No, my question is,
Yeah.
why isn't that person telling us
Process.
the process?
You know, in all of that, guys, let's not forget this key aspect. Pressure is always going to be there.
That's very true. Now that's beautiful. Pressure is always going to be there, irregardless.
So I think we have to come with a different approach. We have to come up with the approach that teaches one to avoid pressure, because it's always going to be there.
It's always going to be there.
You know, these guys are always going to be there. It's not going to change.
It's not going
It's
to
not going to change because we're making a video discouraging perhaps people to do that. It's not
Nah,
gonna stop.
this video alone will not even change a person who's motivating people with their Lamborghinis.
It's my mindset that succumbs to pressure that has to change.
That has to
because
change.
this ridiculous elements.
No, before you go in further, I like the fact that you said it's
Yes.
the mindset. It's my mindset.
my mindset.
Is me. It's
Yes.
my mindset which has to change
It has to
towards the propagation of this
Society.
society
That's
or
beautiful.
this generated idea.
Exactly. The shift has to come from me,
From
not
me.
from those elements.
Not from the person who's motivating. Nah, that
What's
person
the
who's
gonna stop?
motivating you is going to stay constant on that journey. He's literally going to be there for the next 20 years.
Indeed.
Doing the same thing.
doing the same things.
You won't change what he's doing.
No, that's interesting.
That person won't even change a
Yeah.
single dime.
Indeed, man. they
But
won't.
the fact that we have realized now
Yeah.
that is our approach to this idea which has been given to us.
Mhm.
Because now I've realized that, you know, social media is planting seeds, my G.
Indeed.
It's literally planting seeds. You know, it's how do they plant these seeds?
Yes.
They just give you. It's like, you know, have you ever seen those guys who like do magic on TV?
Yes,
They
yes.
do some. They have a deck of cards over
Yes.
there. They do some quick sleight of hand. You know,
Yes.
they tell you that, yeah, you know, what are you thinking of? You know, maybe you're thinking of an ace over
Yes.
there. They be like, they do a sleight of hand.
All of a sudden.
Boom, there's an ace over there on top of the deck of cards. That's the same thing which is being portrayed by these guys. They're
So,
literally
yes.
doing some sleight of hand, then they're putting the ace on top. Now the question is,
Yeah.
are we buying into the idea? Now the thing is, the human mind is fragile.
Yeah.
Now this is from a psychological point of view.
Yeah.
The human mind is fragile.
Yeah.
Thought has to come from the mind
Mm-hmm.
and processed by the mind to what we are seeing. You know, we tend to overlook this factor most of the times.
Yeah.
Social media has given us this room to access every little thing that we may think of. you know, you have videos telling you how to make money, how to make quick money, you know, how to
Yes.
to grow your loan in 10 days.
Some very outrageous
Somewhere.
in ways that we're easily prone to all of this information.
Right,
It's literally in front of us.
it's literally in front of you. You switch on the TV, that's the
It's
first thing you
there.
see. You switch on your phone, that's the first thing you see. I mean, there's literally you go into society, that's the first thing you see.
So, but bro, I realized something here. Social media is like a platform. It's like you're exposing yourself to literally a plethora of ideas.
That's very true.
The question now is, how do you then save those ideas? In that mess of ideas, how do you then save the actual intended good stuff that you might perhaps use to change yourself from here to a better place?
A better place. Because we have managed to identify that these guys are literally planting ideas. That idea for it to work,
Yeah.
it has to, we have to keep on like pouring water on the idea so that it can grow.
Grow. So you're saying that this is like a literal cycle of ideas and ideas and ideas being planted.
That's very true. You know, I've just managed to discover
Now
that.
that's dangerous. Because we once did a video of how the mind is vulnerable to certain things that you expose yourself to.
Exactly.
We're not made of metal, that
Now
we choose to reject certain things.
we are not.
The moment we filter ourselves with certain prejudiced information bit by bit, we start seeing those things become manifest or expressed in our way of thinking or doing.
And especially the doing part.
Now that's
Because
manipulative.
that's manipulation right there.
Yeah.
Because our character has to be formed from something. You can just be like a hot air balloon, just being put pressure by
Yes.
this so that you can just fall from here to there.
Yes. Interesting.
Because we once talked about this, like,
Yeah.
We are born as from a fetus, we grow to a full-grown baby over there. The moment you get out of your mother's womb, that moment you escape that place.
Yes.
The very moment you open your eyes, information is getting in.
It's getting in.
Information is to start getting in from that state.
I can actually attest to that. I've once had this study which was saying that babies can hear music while they're still in the belly. Now that's interesting.
That's interesting. I think maybe you need to delve into
Yeah,
that.
one actually said that the subconscious mind of a baby is actually active while the baby is still in the womb. Now that's powerful.
No, I think you're onto something right there.
Yeah.
That would also mean that, let's say maybe a kid, maybe he or she is now 3 years old. We tend to think that these kids cannot reason. We tend to think that they cannot see anything. We tend to think that for some weird reason, they do not know anything. There's too much information which we have to process on the levels to understand what. So there's this day,
Yeah.
I was coming from Harare. I was actually on my way to come to home.
Yeah.
So I bought this car. So and other few individuals and all that.
Yeah.
So whilst that person was driving, I think it was let's just say he was between the age of 45 to 50, right? He was like, what's happening with this the youth of today? What's happening with today's society?
Yeah.
What's happening? That I can't even tell where we are going or where we are coming from. He was raising that issue. And I think the other guys were trying to answer him and all that. But the funny thing is, I do not even know if he actually realized that he had said that.
Yes.
But what he said,
Yeah.
for some weird reason,
Yeah.
he started his story by saying that, but you know what? People are not aware that as kids, we actually know what's happening. he went on to say that I still remember what was happening between my parents when I was 3 years or 4 years old.
NB is 45, it's around
Now
45.
he's 45 years, it's between 45 and
Yeah,
50.
yeah.
But he was mentioning a memory when he was 3 years.
That's powerful.
For some weird reason, he was
Yeah.
actually saying that
Yeah.
what was happening to him or what he was seeing when he was at that age managed to transition or mold him, they say, from that point to where he is now.
No.
Now that's an interesting observation.
So, in short, you're saying that social media, let's look at our kids.
So now wait, before you say it. So let's take this example. Let's say this person wasn't maybe exposed to social media, right? He
Yes.
was just exposed to what was happening in existentiality, what he's seeing, what's happening in front, the motion which is happening in front of him right now, right? Now in this generation, we take it that it has been put in the device. Now a person at that age is
Yeah.
exposed.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now,
You know what? I was looking back at our childhood.
yes.
We grew up watching those cartoons. The way there's malicious as cartoons of today, actually. Lucky enough,
Yes.
you know. And I would like to think these things. I mean, up to date, I still remember some of these cartoons. You know, they literally made an impact
That's interesting.
in our lives.
That's
So now I'm looking at the youth of the children of today. They can easily access social media. For social media, I'm talking about YouTube. They have to try to watch some cartoons on YouTube. You know, maybe on Instagram or Facebook. So this now has opened a very dangerous channel, because remember, these social medias are platforms of free speech where one can easily post or say whatever they feel like doing. You know, we have to also understand that there are certain things or information that is not yet acceptable to children.
That's very
You
true.
know, and social media now, with less restrictions, has made this information easily accessible to these kids.
Okay.
Now that's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Also, we're bringing forth ideas in our children that they cannot fully comprehend at such a young age.
That's very because like you said, it's sort of like inception, we're incepting an idea. And that idea
Yeah.
needs a surface where it can grow from. Now imagine that this is a young kid. That person's mind is still fresh, it's still trying to mold. Then we just go on to inject an idea in the subconscious mind. That person grows with that idea, it's being watered, it's being given sunlight so that it can germinate and all that.
Yeah.
Till it's a fully grown idea. That's when we end up having kids, grown up kids, having these malicious ideas. But we do not realize that it started from a young age. We think that maybe for some weird reason it started from that person's point of view where he is now.
That's the funny thing. I don't know. Society is a way of hiding these things. I still remember reading this article about this young kid in America who literally took a gun, literally went out and got a gun, and went to a school and literally started shooting kids. So people are now, asking questions like, what can drive this young kid to do such a heinous act? Interesting. And then there was this little article in a newspaper which says that friends of this young guy, they said that they literally used to play these video games for several hours. I think Warcraft or something like that. These shooting games.
Okay, that's interesting.
So I was just bringing forth this element of ideas.
Because imagine that.
It doesn't have to be an agenda that I really want to impute something in you, but I may just do something in negligence, but it may come forth as an idea. In your life. So now that's something to look.
That's really. And I realized that
Yeah.
these guys do not even talk about these things. For some weird reason.
Yeah.
We live in a society or a culture where people want to blame some of these things to a higher spirit or whatever you might really want to mention.
First comes spiritual.
It always comes
They
spiritual. at the end of
failed
the day.
to comprehend the reality.
The reality
So-
of what's really happening, what can drive a young G to just go to a shop and take a gun and go to school and start shooting people. I still remember that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
No, there was this cartoon which I used to watch.
Yeah.
What was it called? I think it was called Lyoko, if I'm not mistaken.
I still remember
There was this cartoon it was called Lyoko.
Code Lyoko. I
Exactly.
still
Yeah,
remember it.
That was
That was a mystic cartoon right there. That was a mystic cartoon. I still remember it.
you know, it was they had some
Yeah.
where these kids would turn into heroes.
Yeah.
You know, and think maybe they're invincible. They would go into this tube where they would be fighting. I still remember at some point in time when I was actually at school,
Yeah.
I would find myself trying to imitate what these guys are doing. Maybe the way that they run,
True.
the
Talk,
way
they
they talk,
Yeah.
the way they behave. No, that scares me a lot.
Right. It has.
I have this little nephew of mine.
Yeah.
You know, I went to their house.
Yeah.
I think he's in grade 4 or 5, 2. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we're watching Spider-Man together.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Right. So you know what Spider-Man does? He'll be out just shooting webs, sticking
Yeah.
to ceilings and all that.
Yeah.
After he watches that movie, you went on to do what Spider-Man was doing.
Was doing.
He was over there crawling on walls, trying to shoot webs, but in reality, we know that can't be real. He was trying to how the door frame is like, right?
Yes.
He was trying to force himself to walk on the side of the door. Now, from just a normal point of view, man,
Yeah.
just say, this is normal.
Right.
But to look at it from a different perspective, a more deeper perspective. The fact that this young kid, he doesn't even know, maybe he's at an age where he doesn't even know how to differentiate what's good and what's bad.
That's true.
He saw Spider-Man trying to... Now imagine what happens if we had to leave him alone. What if he goes on top of the house and he tries to jump over the house?
Wow.
For some weird reason, a person can do that. Because that was an idea that was implanted in the brain through that movie, telling that kid that you're able to do what Spider-Man is doing. But for some weird reason, we fall short to actually identify that as an agenda or that is a problem. And it's not only the kids which are vulnerable to this. A fully grown person
Yeah.
is very... How is right? Let's talk about the adults. How are they manipulated by such an idea?
It's such an idea, right? Well, perhaps for people that might feel like we're going off script when we're talking about cartoons, remember social media, it has brought forth easy, accessible access to this content.
Exactly.
So it's pretty much one and the same thing.
It's pretty much one of the things. Boys, imagine YouTube, we can literally give you access. Boys,
Yes.
YouTube is a social media site.
Yes.
You can literally go and stream cartoons over there. You can stream movies over there and all that. So they're still in the script. So let's imagine a 35-year-old
Yeah.
male or 35-year-old female goes on let's say maybe Netflix, the popular Netflix over there.
Netflix, yes. Man,
Yeah.
plenty of stuff over there.
You go on Netflix,
Yeah.
you're in this mode, you want to watch maybe a romantic protege.
Yeah.
Watch a romantic movie, it's 2 hours long, Then you come back to real life.
Yeah.
You're watching a movie, right? You're watching a movie. You're watching, I don't know what kind of movie you're watching, a romantic movie per se. Then you come back to real life.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, you now want to enact what was happening in that romantic movie in real life. But then we're adults. We now have maybe some reasoning capacity or some critical thing. We find ways to beat about the bush, saying, "Nah, this was my idea. This was my own creation." Now that's the thing with an idea.
Yeah.
An idea has to make you think that you are the father of that idea. It
That's
doesn't.
the funny thing.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to give you room to think that they are the ones who gave you that idea. Nah,
Those are the dangers of inception.
those are
Because
the
once
dangers of
ideas
inception.
are being introduced to you, bit by bit, they culminate in your brain to an extent that you think that they are your ideas. No, that's just dangerous. You're out here thinking that you're the co-conspirator of your beautiful ideas. Well, at least there are someone's ideas that we genuinely planted within you.
But for it to work, you literally have to think that it's your own idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
If we had the conscious awareness that it's someone else's idea, it wouldn't work. It doesn't have to work. But they have to give you that idea in a way that you are the one who thought of it. Now that becomes a problem. Now we have managed to say that we took a kid and we took a grown adult. We managed to realize that for these adults, they are actually vulnerable.
Indeed. They are.
When they actually think that maybe they are not even susceptible to such things.
But we are.
But we are.
Especially sexually.
Exactly. That's very true.
Like you're pointing out to Netflix, there are a lot of romantic movies out there.
Exactly. They're giving these
graphic scenes, that are being introduced to us, especially us youth.
Exactly, that's very true.
We've experienced this. We're new to this.
We
might now be experts per se, I don't know. But these were ideas that were literally introduced at a certain age. I think it's around 13, 14.
Exactly. That's where I believe that's the stronghold foundation. And the funny thing is, everyone, literally everyone, goes through that route where maybe we're sexually exposed to media at a young age, to the point that we grow up thinking that what was happening right there is the right thing. Right? We are looking for, and we want to be the co-authors of our own ideas. We end up being, we lose the terminology of them having implanted this idea to us, to the point that we think that we are the co-authors of this idea. Because we have to tackle that in that aspect, we realize that even us can actually fall short into that. We realize that we've been there, and we realize, there's something wrong here. Hence, we go on this search for what is true. In order to identify what is true, we have to identify what is false. We realize that these guys are literally working overtime so that they can implant come on. Netflix literally costs you, it's not even more than $11.
This is the funny thing. Why does these things have to be like super cheap, bro?
It's super cheap.
Just a point to note, guys. Just a point.
Just a point to note.
We're not gonna talk about it.
Netflix is freaking cheap.
It is.
Prime TV is super cheap.
Super cheap.
What are the other?
Porn is super free.
It's porn is free, literally free. Wi-Fi, if I'm not mistaken, unlimited Wi-Fi doesn't have to cost more than $50.
Yeah. Yes.
And $50 in modern times, you can actually say it's cheap.
It's cheap.
It's literally cheap.
So, that alone,
It's alarming.
It's alarming. It raises alarms.
It raises alarms. That's why we see that this black hole of social media is taking us. The fact that you can access a porn site for free, and they are numerous.
Yes.
That means that what is the underlying agenda?
Or you're bringing in an agenda here. Right? Technically, if something is free, it means that there is an intended important purpose for its serving, so right?
Because let's look at the altercations of what the world view of love is. People have pertained, or social media has shown us this mainstream of love to be sexual.
That's true.
The question is,
They're normalizing that.
they're normalizing that.
Yeah.
To an extent that even the people consuming that content have normalized the fact that love has to be sexual. Of which that's alarming. Because I have conversed with many people who find that is wrong. Now people are aware, but for some reason I think they just fall short because they see that they have nowhere to hide. Again, we said the change doesn't have to begin with the next person who is next to you. Nah, the change has to begin with yourself. I often ask myself this question.
Yeah.
I know a lot of things. I know these things. So what am I to do with these things? I think maybe I have to go and give them to people. That's why then I realized one day that nah, at some point I do not really have to go on and give other people this information before I have checked myself with that same information, because it creates a domino effect.
Yeah.
Imagine that you are aware of these things,
Yeah.
and you are aware of how these things are bad to you, then you stop living in that doctrine of
Yeah.
what you know is wrong.
Yeah.
You just start living in that correct doctrine of what is right. You go and meet someone with a false doctrine of what is good, you impute them your good doctrine of what is good. That person will go on to do that to another person,
Another person.
because that person has realized that now there is someone else who actually realizes that you get it. Literally creates a domino effect.
It does.
That's
I
in
like
short,
what you said,
that's sort of like you walking your talk.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't have to force someone to walk your talk. Let you be the first person to walk your talk. Then other persons will see it fit, then they'll follow it. I think the greatest challenge which we have managed to have, even through social media, we realize that it has imputed this agenda that you first have to change people before you even change yourself.
Change yourself. That's true.
Right?
And it gives room for people to deceive people that I'm okay. You are not.
Exactly. That's very true.
Easy.
Wait. No, you need to repeat that. I think I just thought of something. You said
Yeah.
it gives us the idea that
That perhaps one might feel like they've done it all. It's literally up to you. And by the evidence that they're giving us, one might conclude that idea that nah, this person is okay. I'm the only person here who still has the long way to go. Or
wow,
still
that's beautiful.
so
Now imagine
yeah.
what you've identified right here is that we have been implanted this idea to think that just because we know all of these things, we become right, and the next person to us becomes wrong.
Becomes wrong.
And yet maybe I might know, and yet we are doing the same thing in our character. The character hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I'm still doing the perversive stuff,
Indeed.
but for some weird reason, I think that the next person is obsolete. He's nothing or she's nothing, just because I am aware of this information. But my acts haven't changed. So that means that's another idea which we have been implanted by social media. Or social media is pushing this idea that
It does.
you are right in your wrong. It's giving us comfort
Comfort.
of our own wrongness to the point that we outlive some of these things, thinking that we have already sorted ourselves out, and we do not really need to check ourselves day by day.
You've brought a very interesting aspect. Check this out. Social media is a way of pushing forth these so-called gurus that we tend to look upon. Perfect example is Twitter. There are individuals like, people following Bill Gates, Elon Musk, mostly because they're wealthy.
Yes.
I don't know, a funny way of expressing intelligence with money,
That's
which is never correlating. Trust me,
It's never
we've
correlating.
seen
The evidence is overwhelming.
Yes.
Money and intelligence
They don't mix.
They don't mix.
They don't mix
But
at
for
all.
some reason, people tend to think that the ones with the money are intelligent. But
Yes, and their agendas are being pushed forth to everyone. Yes, social media is a way of making this social media elites. It seems like they are there and we're here, and we have to follow their trends for us to be where they are. It's their ideas that are being pushed forth so that we have to live in those ideas.
wow, that's beautiful.
I don't know why
That's
we've-
too deep.
Yeah, I don't know why we're accustomed
Wow.
to admire
So in other
This-
words, we lose sense of who we are,
We are.
chasing someone else's
Someone
idea
else.
of what life is pretending to be or
Exactly.
used to be.
Perfect. You've said it well.
And
You've
we
said
get lost in this oblivion, or we get sunk in this abyss of thinking that,
that is life.
wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And the same thing, you cannot deny that. The moment you perhaps open your YouTube, you know, it literally directs you to the most influential people. Like, I think, who's this person who has the largest followers on YouTube? There's this guy who does skits. I can't remember his name. This guy, you still remember him, right?
What's his name?
I forgot.
But
Check, yeah. It's they're literally pushing those. You have to observe and see what those guys are doing. But is it? The question is it where we're supposed to be, or is it the route that we're supposed to be?
is that the way to the truth?
Exactly.
Wow.
I thought we all different in our ways. I don't know. I don't know. But this is a really reoccurring issue.
This is a really real because we have lost sense of we have lost our own originality. Say, chasing this false sense of reality. That's when we find ourselves, we are 50 years over there, then we do not even know where we are.
We are.
You know, that's alarming. That
sad,
has to
bro.
be alarming.
That is sad.
That is literally sad.
And
And it
our
doesn't have to
generation is
be that way. That's where we
It
stand.
doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. There is a way.
There is a way.
There is always a way.
I feel
But
like
it's, I
people are
believe, identifying the problem first. That's where we have to start. Like, we have identified it.
We're different. And I feel like we have different routes to take.
Exactly.
We serve different purposes in life. I
That's
mean,
very true. That's
you
very
probably to turn out to be a builder,
true. That's very true.
me a farmer.
That's very true.
Life balances out. I don't know how it does.
Life just
but
balances out. Now, the beauty of life is this: if you follow the correlating truth, the actual truth, irregardless of the route which you have taken, be it you have become a builder, be it you've opened a marketplace, it's like the end goal is still the same. It never changes. Hence, it reduces the levels of conflict.
Okay.
For some weird reason, I feel like following that which is the real thing, which is not false, it balances everything to the point that it can even reduce the levels of conflict in society, in even conflict amongst ourselves. It actually reduces that level of conflict.
Okay.
Because we find ourselves battling our own selves at some point in time. You know, we have these thoughts which are literally haunting us because of the ideas which have been implanted in us when we were young. We are trying to ridicule these ideas. We are not trying to assess now what are these thoughts. The fact that we are able to hurt someone, that is an underlying factor that we can actually see now that there is something wrong. Because we have to face the reality that for some weird reason social media has managed to crumble our self-esteem, our originality per se.